Hey everyone, welcome to Career Choices. Today we have it with us, Michelle March. Michelle, what's your career?
I am an IRS revenue agent.
Uh-oh, now wait a minute. All the news we hear right now about IRS agents, they're regular people?
Yeah, believe it or not. Yep, it's
Whoa,
crazy.
we didn't know that. We have this concept of IRS agents like robots or something out there.
Yep.
But hey, no, you're just, and I know you. I've known you for years. You're actually a really nice person.
Yeah, I get that a lot. They're like, "Oh, you're not what I was expecting." I was like, "Well, I don't know what you are supposed to expect, but yeah."
Oh, well, that is cool. So people today are going to actually meet a IRS agent that is a normal person and they cannot be afraid of the IRS. Is that right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay, good, good. So let's start off with your education. What does it take to be an IRS agent?
For my particular job, so I am an auditor, so I am required to have an accounting degree. So, I mean, there are other jobs in the IRS that don't require that. Like you could just have a 4-year degree in anything, or some of the lower level ones, just associate's degree. But for my particular job, I actually have to have a bachelor's degree in accounting. So that's what I have. I went to Wayne for 2 years and got an associate's degree there in accounting, and then started looking around for jobs and realized that they weren't really going to pay me starting out with a 2-year degree with what I was already making. I was a bookkeeper at a local grocery store at the time. And so then I decided to go ahead and get my bachelor's degree. And so I transferred to Barton College and transferred in as a junior and went there 2 years and got my bachelor's in accounting, and basically got this job 2 days after I graduated.
So how long have you been an IRS agent?
16 years.
16, wow.
Yep, got hired in 2006.
So I've got to ask this question
Uh-huh.
because we talk about this in school, because this is in accounting is one of my examples I use in school when I'm teaching my kids. And I said, I don't know how, and I know several accountants, I don't know how someone says, when I grow up, I want to be an accountant. But it's like math to me. And I know a lot of math teachers that I'm like, when I grow up, I want to be a math teacher. I don't get math. And I'm just like, whoa, that just seems like it's over my head.
Well,
I think
actually,
it scares people. I think that's probably what scares people.
I never wanted to be an accountant ever. I actually, as a little girl, have always wanted to be a school teacher. Everybody would tell you that. My parents, all my teachers always wanted to be a school teacher. And that's actually what I started going to college for. When out of high school, I went to Wayne for 2 years and I started going out to be a teacher, and I was going to transfer to ECU after 2 years. So they didn't have the connection and the partnerships that they do now at Wayne.
Right.
You know, we actually had to go to ECU. But I got pregnant my first year at college. And I just didn't think that was ideal to be going back and forth with a little baby to ECU. So I changed to accounting because I actually do like math and have always liked math, and I'm pretty good at it. So I switched my major to accounting at Wayne, thinking I could just get the 2-year degree and be good to go. And that's how I got into accounting, and that's how I got it.
Lord works in mysterious ways, huh?
It does. It's
Turned out to be a great career for you, didn't it?
Yes, absolutely. I love it.
That is great.
Yep.
So we talked about education, talked about what it takes to get there. Tell me a little bit about what you like about it, what you don't like about it. Everyone has a job. I mean, people that have jobs, that really came out wrong, but anyone who has a job, and they might love their job. I love my job. Like I said, I am actually a school teacher, kind of. At least that's what they pay me for. And I love it, but don't get me wrong, there are certain things I just don't like about it. What are some things you can tell students and people about accounting that, you know, you go to work every day and, hey, this is what they don't teach you in school?
Well, I mean, as far as what they don't teach you in school, You learn all the textbook stuff, at least with my job. Like we were taught a lot of the tax law and all that kind of stuff in school, but never really taught how to apply that. So as an auditor, you know, on the job, I had to learn how to apply. I knew the tax law, but you know, seeing it on a tax return and auditing it, how to apply that law to actual real life case, you know, scenario. This is on the return. Does this law apply? Does it not? Decision making skills are not taught in college or school, I don't think. And with my job, you have to be able to make a decision. I do have a boss, but you're not super micromanaged. I am kind of an independent. You have to be able to make a decision, you know, and go with it. And that's the stuff like I didn't learn in college. But as far as the pros of the job, I mean, it's a government job. I love it. I mean, I actually like my job. The accounting part of it, I get to meet, you know, you deal with accountants, you deal with just regular people, taxpayers are scared to death of you when you first meet them, but you kind of just try to ease their mind and, you know, just kind of go from there. But as far as the job itself, as a woman, I really enjoy the work-life balance of it. I'm not a super money motivated person. Like I don't care to be making $200,000 a year. Being able to have the flexibility to take off and attend my son's school events, field trips, sporting events, that's more important to me. And you have the flexibility of that. You can work at home. You pretty much get to make your schedule. With it's kind of similar to being self-employed, but I get a W-2. You know, I get a paycheck every week, a salary, great benefits. Yeah. Good room for advancement too. You pretty much, I mean, you almost kind of get somewhat of a raise every year with the government, a little bit. Yeah, it's a good job, good pay, good benefits, just a good job.
No, good. Well, I'm glad that you like it.
I do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what could, and not your salary, kind of give me a ballpark of beginning, ending, medium, you know, what kind of salary can people expect?
It's kind of like it's kind of a graduated pay scale. So depending, your starting salary depends on your level of education. So if you come in for my particular job, for an auditor, for what I actually do, we are considered a GS. All federal employees normally are considered GS employees. So every federal employee, no matter you work for the IRS or the, you know, any other department in the federal government, if you're a GS employee, every GS7 makes the exact same thing, unless you live in like Washington, D.C., where you have locality pay, where the cost of living is higher, you know, so certain areas like Raleigh has a locality pay. But so with a bachelor's degree, I looked all this salary stuff up before this, just so I could give you, because it's been so long since I started, you know, what I started at. Back in 2006, when I started as a GS7, which is entry level. That's what you're hired as a GS7. Back then, it was 35,000 was the starting salary. Right now, it's about 45. So in 16 years, the inflation and stuff, the starting salary is 45. And with my job, and if you got hired as my job, basically in a year, you would become a GS9, which is about a $10,000 increase. And then in another year, you would become an automatic 11, which is about another 12,000. And then in another year, so basically every year you get a raise for the first several years. Okay. And then after you get to a 12, then you have to start competing. Okay. You actually have to interview and compete for, you know, to become a 13. And for my job, a 13, 14 is probably the highest GS level I could probably go out without being in a management role. Right. So, yeah. And then a 13, you can make over 100,000 easy.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
And each grade, like a GS7, that's called a grade. Each grade has 10 steps. So, like if I'm a GS13, I might be a step 1 in a year, I can become a step 2. So even though I may not be getting any more promotions, I become another step until you max out. So, I mean, to me, it's, you kind of, the pay is pretty good.
Good, good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think most accountants probably do fairly well.
Yeah.
And I would assume, don't quote me on this, but there's probably not a whole lot of accountants out there. I mean, there's a lot, but I would think there's probably, it's probably easier to get a job as an accountant than,
Yeah,
so like in a business, someone with a business degree,
sure.
because
Yeah.
it is a concentrated degree.
And that is the other benefit I actually forgot to state is I don't work 80 hours during tax season. I work 40 hours all year.
That's good.
There's no crazy tax season with my job. There's always somebody to audit. I close a case, I get another one. I close a case, I get another one, So that's another benefit, is not working crazy hours during tax season.
I think that you have cleared up a lot of misconceptions, and that's kind of what I wanted to have you on, because I know there's all these, you go on Facebook, and I think of you every time I see something about an IRS agent. I'm like, they're not bad people. They're good people. They're actually out there trying to help you. And it's not about, the government out there just trying to grab all your money all the time. They're trying to help you.
It's not a very well received job. When I try not to tell people what I do. When they ask me, I say I'm an accountant. And then if they keep probing, eventually I have to tell them. But it's either a horror story about the IRS or a question, normally when they find out that I work for them. Yeah.
But everyone out there, they're normal people. They're just doing a job that they're supposed to do, just like the rest of us. Hey, thanks so much for being on Career Choices. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So